I literally don't know how you throw that pitch.
There's no way.
What?
A palm ball?
Like, I don't know how you can do that.
And genuinely have control of it? There's no way.
I don't understand you don't spike it every time. Like, how does that come out of your hand? What do you mean? I thought you just stuff it in there. How do you do it?
You just put it in all your fingers, like in the tips, though?
You just hold it like that.
A circle change without the circle.
Yeah, it's like a circle change without the circle, but you hold it deep in your hand. It's a slip pitch, so you want it to pop out.
Almost like a splitter?
Yeah. So like if you look at, like Steve Farr had a legit palm ball back in the 90s. It's like that. So it's tight with your thumb, tight with your two middle fingers, all four fingers on the baseball, and you let it pop out.
2022 marks the 6th season for the Chargers under the direction of Coach Dash O'Neill, but is the first with this staff.
Hi, my name is Tucker Hughes, and I'm the pitching coach recruiting coordinator here at Georgia Highlands College.
My name is Todd Cole. I'm an assistant coach at Georgia Highlands, first base coach, and I work with the outfielders.
Tucker Hughes joined Georgia Highlands College in 2021 and is the first year for Todd Cole working with the team. For the environment O'Neill looks to foster, making up his staff goes further than finding those with high baseball IQs.
For me, the biggest thing is that they have to be good people. I mean, they have to have a really good moral character, and they have to be the kind of guys that, I want my children, and because my players are like my children, and it has to be the kind of guy that I think is a good role model for them, that I think is going to set an example for them. And if I'm asking these guys to work hard, well, then I have to, myself and my staff, we all have to work hard. We all have to do those kinds of things, and we have to live the right way.
So what I've been doing the past year is watching my added salt and sugar intake. Something I changed, I guess midway 2020. It's been about a year and a half, and that just went way down this holiday season. I've been good about it though.
Vulcan season.
My problem is when I get into a popcorn, I get hungry for popcorn, and I add salt to it. I can't. At the bottom of the barrel of it is nothing but salt and kernels, and then I use my fingers to get the rest of the salt.
A pitcher at Ohio Dominican University and Ohio Valley University, Hughes jumped into coaching almost immediately after his playing days were over. On staff at Ohio Christian University, Clark State Community College, Waldorf University, and the University of the Ozarks, he and O'Neill had a connection through a former Chargers staff member. They talked, but the timing wasn't right for Hughes to come to the Chargers.
Actually, the former assistant coach here, Brock Moss, who's a very good friend of mine, kind of just recommended me for the job in 2019 when it come up. They were looking for a volunteer position, and Coach O and I got on the phone that summer, and he actually offered me the job to come on board with his staff, and I ended up taking another route. I'm hoping that one day this job would come open again, and sure enough it did. And Coach O and I throughout the years have just stayed in contact with each other and just developed a really good relationship. I think we have the same mindset, the same culture, the same standards. Everything that he wanted when we first initially started to speak about this position, it just matched, and every box was checked off.
Tucker's a phenomenal pitching guy. He understands, whether it's a kid that's coming from Driveline or a kid that's coming from NPA or a kid that's coming from whatever different setup. He understands it all, and he knows how to work with those guys from different kind of developmental pathways.
When Hughes finally came aboard, the Chargers' arms reaped the benefits. Last season, they led the Georgia College Athletic Association in ERA, were second in strikeouts, and allowed the fewest walks. They also had the league's top 2 pitchers in wins, the ERA leader, and 3 in the top 10 in strikeouts.
He's the guy that's always diving into the numbers and telling me, hey, whenever you're in these situations, you're this much worse or this much better, so on and so forth. So whenever he's able to sit in the bullpen with me and go through my arsenal as it's coming out, pitch by pitch, he's able to be like, maybe in this situation you can go here or there, or use this pitch and these counts to maybe be more advantageous in the future. Things like that he really helps with his outside opinions on.
A middle infielder at Jacksonville State and Valdosta State, Cole would go on to play in both the Toronto Blue Jays and Detroit Tigers farm systems. He'd begin his coaching career with Shorter University in Rome, Georgia as a volunteer assistant coach. It was there, while working with the Hawks, that he and O'Neal first talked.
I was a volunteer assistant at Georgia University, and I was involved mostly with their JV program at the time. And the head coach up there, they kind of did away with their JV program. And Dash wasn't necessarily looking for a volunteer at the time, but I just had inquired, and we spoke a little bit about it, and then kind of see each other at the ballparks from time to time between that time and this summer. And then there was an opening here, so I called Dash to kind of see what he was looking for, to see if it might be a fit, and fortunately for me it was.
And Todd, he brings a lot of knowledge from his time. I mean, he played for some really good coaches. He played at a really high level, and he understands hard work and has those expectations.
Everything he throws moves like.
I was about to say. So you just got natural cut?
Yeah.
Because I don't know that he's thrown the breaking ball for a strike. He bounced a few up.
No, yeah, he threw me one slider.
Away though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's got like the slider cut, that kind of work with each other.
But then he takes a little something off.
And then he's got the change, and then with the two seam.
Okay.
And then he's got a four seam, but it's just a faster two seam.
Gotcha.
Really.
So it's just natural out of his hand then?
I'm kind of old school. I'm probably the elder of our coaching staff, obviously, but you hear about the analytics and the drive lines, but I'm kind of old school. The hard work pays off, and I know these kids want to pay attention to the analytics, but I think you get these kids to buy into the fact that they've got to go and work hard each and every day. Analytics are fine; it's a great measurement tool, but you have to find out what kind of drive they have internally for them to want to improve.
He's a great addition to the coaching staff this year. He's done a lot to help the outfielders when it comes to the little things out there. Like last year we didn't do much little drills, but this year we've been doing a lot with picking balls up on the fence or getting our turns right. And he's just a great guy to have.
Holy jam job.
Three-ball, hit ball. They got nobody. Outfielders are straight up. Well done.
We're just working reed steel for now. So we're going unless we see slide step, we shut it down. All right. And the important distinction there is that it's not wait to see the leg kick and then go. It's I'm anticipating steel. I'm running. I'm always going. And I only shut it down if I see the slide step. Okay? We got it?
So I was lucky. I played at a good high school program over at Sequoia, which is local. And I played in junior college for 2 years down at Andrew College, and that was a big launching off point for me. And then I was really fortunate. I played at Columbus State University, and I played for Greg Appleton, who's still down there now, and his staff. And that was really probably where I did the most in terms of learning what it takes to win and learning how to do things the right way and how the game can be played and prepared.
After his playing days, O'Neal began his coaching career at Chattahoochee Valley Community College, where he spearheaded record-setting offenses with the Pirates. He took over a 3-year-old Georgia Highlands program in 2016, one that had yet to enjoy a winning season. With 4 of his 5 seasons so far, including appearances at national polls, multiple conference titles, a regional championship, and dozens of players advancing to 4-year schools, a standard has been set.
He's like a father figure to us, I think. He's easy to play for, easy to want to win for, and I think that's, he's a player's coach, and I think that is what benefits us the most.
I'd say he's definitely more of a hard-nosed coach. He likes it very traditional. He doesn't like the flashy stuff as much, but he's the guy you want in your corner whenever you need someone.
There's a lot of guys that come from winning programs, but until you meet Coach O and play for Coach O, you don't really understand what it takes to compete and at a high level and just going out and competing every day.
A foundational piece of O'Neal's approach to coaching has been in helping his players do more than just fine-tune the fundamentals of baseball and put the focus on their mentality through his frequent mental game teachings.
If you remember us talking about anxiety in the fall and nerves in the fall and that system, it's your fight or flight system. But your fight or flight doesn't know the difference between, a bear running through the gate and chasing you, or having an at bat in the bottom of the ninth, or giving a speech. right? It works the same way no matter what the stimulus is, okay? And so your breath is your best shot of getting that under control. So in the short view of that, mechanically it's really simple. You've just got to step back and give yourself 2 good deep breaths. And it's simple. It's just in through the nose and out through the mouth, and the whole thing is long and strong, right? So it's just right? Because you don't have 3 minutes to sit down and do rhythmic breathing. You know, we're not talking about having time to break off and meditate. We're talking about in the middle of the game. But you've got time to step back and take a couple of deep breaths. So those couple of breaths give you a chance to kind of get that regulated a little bit, and gives you an opportunity to choose the thought that's going to come next. All right, and that's where we marry it to the imagery that we talked about last week. All right, you've got that little picture, you've got that glimpse, okay, of you doing the thing that you're about to perform. All right, of you making that perfect pitch, taking that great swing, fielding that ball. All right, so you've got that little image. So you take your breaths, you insert that image, and then you take that third point, which is self-talk. All right, and you put in whatever that's going to be. You know, if you're pitching, it might be they can't touch me. If you're hitting, it might be bring it. You know, it might just be an affirmation. It might just be I'm the best. You know, you can't beat me, something like that. So I knew right away that needed to be a component that I felt like was maybe missing when I was coming up. You know, I didn't know at the time if it would help or not, but I knew it couldn't hurt, and I really wanted to implement it. So when I came here, it was, you know, job one. Our 4 pillars are: what's your attitude, what's your approach, you know, what's your level of intent, and then are you tough? You know, and I think if we can talk to them about them 4 pieces, and I certainly didn't invent any of that. I'm stealing that from guys smarter than me. You know, I've really seen a change in the way that it affects them. Now, the thing about it is, though, you know, the mental game is not a quick fix. You know, you can't talk to your players about mentality and then expect that there's going to be this huge growth immediately. It's something that really takes time, and that, you know, they've got to buy in, and then they've got to struggle with a little bit and kind of figure out when they need to employ, you know, some of the tools that you give them.
I actually use one of the things he talks about, the focal point method. So every time I get on the mound, like after the throwdown from the catcher, I get the ball back, and I stand on the back of the mound, and I'll look at the top of the flagpole just for like 3 seconds, take a big breath, and it kind of locks me in and lets me settle down a little bit.
Coach O, I love him to death. He's definitely my favorite coach of all time, just because he simplified the game for me. I came in here as like a linebacker football guy who's super aggressive on the mound, like hot-headed sometimes, and puts a lot of emphasis on the game, and he's helped me to simplify things and just to stay in control of what I can control, putting myself in the best position to be advantageous for the team and for myself.
It's a lot, because, you know, this game is very easy to get in your head, and it can take you way off track. And, you know, if you could take those keys that he tells you, it could put you right back on track and really help you be more successful in the end.
If I can get them to put the team first and put their own success secondary, and if I can get them to buy into that, it's believe in a process that you can be successful with, then I think that helps them develop confidence, and we talk about those things all the time.